made it. We're only, how late are we? Sorry for being late, everybody.
We're like 23 minutes late.
Oh my gosh. You know, when I asked you yesterday if we should do 11 and you're like, sure. I was like, maybe we should do 11:30.
I thought you were going to do the 11:15 thing again because that's what you did last time.
Yeah.
I'm trying to find our good 4K.
A good 4K without a weird
filter on it.
All right. How's everybody doing today?
Hey, everybody.
Happy, can we call this the first real weekend of spring?
Yes, officially we can because the official first day of spring was
It's also
Friday.
the first really nice weekend we've had.
It's beautiful.
Although we had a pretty good nice weekend 2 weekends ago. When we went walking.
We had a fall
We're supposed to go walking today too, don't forget.
Yes, we are going on I'm not allowed to call it a ruck because it's not.
I'm going to ruck.
It's not a real ruck, according to Bronson.
I'm going to ruck. I got to ruck. I'm putting something on my back.
We're going to do a weighted walk.
A weighted walk. I'm going to jump on her back and she's going to carry me for a couple miles.
That would be 2 times my body weight rather than 20% of my body weight. So happy spring.
Happy spring.
The reason we are late is because today is day 1 of my hour in the Keto Bikini Academy Spring into Summer Transformation Program. So we are starting our brand new training program. And look at that, I just got another new member.
Hey, all right.
Just found out, yay, somebody else has joined. So I just finished the overview video for the group of our new training program. So I was yapping off at the mouth a little bit longer.
She said that I'm going to do all the talking on the call today.
A little longer than I thought. Yeah, and I'm like feeling it.
Drink.
So I've just been talking for 45 minutes.
Right. So we are going to talk about creatine today, but before we do that, don't forget, if you have any questions about the things we talk about in our videos, if you ask questions and you stay on till the end, you could potentially win a bag of Keto Brains, the best coffee creamer out there. So that being said, we are talking, like I said, about creatine because it seems to be coming back around. Every so often, if you guys haven't realized in the space, something is hot for a couple months and then nobody talks about it for a year or 2. And then all of a sudden, out of the blue, because
a moment,
there will be a new study. And I think the trigger was there was a study recently that talked about a study or article or somebody was talking about doing like 20 grams of creatine a day or something to get these amazing benefits or whatever, which is all whatever.
And like another thing that's having a moment right now is menopause and how women need to be doing everything, all
the extra stuff.
Everything for women. So now this whole thing for creatine for women has become a thing. And y'all, I don't know if you've seen the ads, but I've seen them.
Can I?
Creatine.
Okay.
Did you see that?
I've seen that. Can I just say, I know most of our audience
marketed to death.
Most of our audience is women, and I will tell you that menopause is the new keto.
Yeah, it's
everybody putting the last 5 to 10 years. Everybody putting keto or gluten-free on their products is now what menopause is.
Yep.
It's the exact same product that they've had for 20 years.
Now all of
a sudden it's great for menopause, and it's so ridiculous. So ridiculous. Don't fall for it. Please don't fall for it.
Creatine.
Always the basics.
Are you serious right now?
Yes, they are absolutely
serious. What else
serious.
can we do to charge a lot more for something that's actually quite cheap?
And you might not even be needing to buy in the first place.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about, first off, why is creatine such a amazing ergogenic supplement that everybody should be taking?
Because it's the most studied nutrition sports supplement.
Besides caffeine, I would say caffeine and creatine are probably at the top.
The two, yep.
It's safe.
Yeah, right.
There's no issues. So if you've ever heard anybody say, I guess it would be the number one thing. If you've ever heard anybody say that creatine is not good for your kidneys, you can tell them to pound sand. Not a thing. Just like proteins, not good. Oh my God, too much. Pound sand. Unless you have kidney issues.
I love your little isms. Sometimes. Pound sand.
Then just ignore it. You don't have to worry about creatine messing up your kidneys or causing any problems there.
I wish I remember the type of test you should get if your bun to creatinine ratio is blood urea
High.
nitrogen to creatinine ratio is off, or if your creatinine looks high and your doctor's concerned about your kidneys. There's a test particularly for those who strength train, eat a lot of protein, have a lot of muscle mass.
Oh, I don't know.
That you can ask for. Of course,
We'll have
I
to
wouldn't
Google it.
remember it now.
We'll have to look it up.
Yeah.
Okay.
To test your kidney function, that's better.
Or you could be like me and say, oh, I know why that's high because I strength train and I eat a crap ton of protein.
Well, and that's another thing. Yes,
Like,
if
you
you're
know your context of your life and what you're
if
doing.
your blood urea nitrogen and or creatinine levels look off, especially if you're supplementing with creatine, then if that's the only thing that's off, your liver enzymes,
Right,
everything
if
else
everything else
looks
is
good, then it's really nothing to worry about.
Your kidney function test.
Your kidney function
if your kidney
test,
function
right.
is looking good,
Yeah.
you're fine. Okay,
Don't
so
freak out about it, basically.
it's been super studied to the point of every few years something contradictory comes out about creatine, right? Prime example, you need to preload with 20 grams for a week, or was it 10 to 20 grams a day for 5 to 7 days before you go to your normal dose of 3 to 5 grams a day to maintain, right? Because you need to saturate your muscles with creatine
that's another
before it
marketing
can even
ploy.
take effect.
That's another marketing ploy to get you to buy more.
Buy
of
more.
It.
So that was a
You'll
thing
go
for
through
a
the
while.
supplement faster.
And then a few years ago, they came out and they're like, it really doesn't matter. If you're taking it consistently, you're going to build it up in your system and it's fine. Like, you don't have to pre-saturate.
You can if you want to quickly get to those levels.
There's not any benefit long term.
Yeah.
So those are the kind of just basic understandings. The benefits that people say we get from creatine: more energy, better energy management, brain function improves, better workouts, strength, hypertrophy, development, performance in the gym.
And particularly, it's that getting one more rep out than you would have been able to without it.
That's a big thing that people talk about, which may or may not be the case. So with all of those benefits, you would think that there would never even be a question of, do I need to take creatine? Right? It does all these things. It's great for your brain. You have more energy. You get stronger. So then why are we even questioning it?
Like, shouldn't we all just be
taking it? Well, here's why. Because there isn't anything actually saying that stuff happens other than us and people talking. It's bro science to the max. That's why we're questioning it. That's why it's one of the most studied supplements, because there's a lot of anecdote. There's a lot of, it's what the bodybuilders do, so we must do it too, even though we're not trying to be professional bodybuilders. That gets into this. So, and then there's the marketing aspect of where there's all these different brands. If they're selling a product, it must be something that we need.
Yep.
That's a mindset most of y'all need to get out of.
But that's also where the whole eat more protein, right? Because this is where the whole if 1 gram per pound of body weight is good, then 1.5 or 2 grams per pound of body weight is better. And you should buy my protein supplement. And that's where that came from. And that was in the bodybuilding space. And it became a supplement. And then to sell the supplement, they sold you this bill of goods that if you just keep adding more protein indefinitely, you'll build more muscle indefinitely.
Right. And that's where everything that comes out of the bodybuilding space, even the performance space, because it's exercise science in general as well,
sports in general,
it's all about performing and doing more, right? They take the idea, this is a really weird way to think about it. They take the idea of progressive overload and apply it to their nutrition.
Yeah.
Right? It's like this idea, well, if I have to do more work to get better, then maybe if I intake more of this supplement, if there's this much benefit, then there must be this much benefit if I take more. Even though there's nothing showing
And
that.
even
There's
with
no,
food, right? It's,
you
bulk.
have to eat more.
Bulk.
Right.
Just keep eating more and it'll all go to your muscle. And most of those people are getting fat.
Yeah, very much so. So that's a little bit of background on creatine. Now, doing a little bit of digging, because I actually had some notes that I found. This is one of those things that it's been such a topic over the years. I have tons of stuff.
Same.
Right.
This question comes up usually about once a month from another member who maybe wasn't around the last time. So it's a constant question.
So now we have the video. We can just say, go watch the video. Every claim that has been made about creatine has claims for and against, has data, research that support or contradict the claim. So any claim that you see that says, oh, creatine helps you get stronger and build more muscle, there are studies that say it does, and there are studies that are very clear in saying that it doesn't. Right?
Interesting.
All of the stuff for brain health. There's a lot of stuff recently. Brain health is a huge thing in general right now.
Yep. Which is why it's getting pushed for
Which is another reason why it's getting pushed.
And
aging. Number one, you guys know how I feel about any of the aging stuff and longevity sciences. I think the entire longevity
there are claims,
industry is a crock.
Isn't it there are claims that like it will reduce dementia and Alzheimer's?
Well, there's a lot of that stuff, yes. And again,
all that is very new though, right?
There's not enough data to show that there is a direct relationship between that or any other factors. It is very new and not solid enough to say everybody should be taking, like,
right.
It's not enough to say, I think everyone should be taking creatine supplements. Now we're going to talk about that.
I know where you're going.
That in a second.
I've had that on my mind this whole time.
Because we're not there yet. We're not there yet. And then what's the other one? Energy, recovery, all of the different things. There's something that says it does, something that says it doesn't. The only thing of all of the different claims, benefits, that I've seen that makes me go, okay, there's probably something here, is on the mental side of things in the context of mental stress, i.e. sleep deprivation.
Yes.
There has been some really interesting data that talks about the benefits of mental performance when you're sleep deprived and you add some creatine supplements.
Yeah.
Right? So
Yep.
Now, does that directly translate to all forms of mental stress if we consider Alzheimer's, dementia, or the impacts of things that cause that?
There you go. Yeah. There's
potentially.
something to think about. Yep.
Right? So if we're talking about metabolic dysfunction in the brain, that could be considered brain stress.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe there is something there. But at the same time, this is another nuance I hadn't thought about. If we know that dementia and Alzheimer's is a form of metabolic syndrome, maybe we don't need to supplement creatine. Maybe we just avoid metabolic syndrome. And then creatine supplementation for brain health doesn't need to be a thing. Right? Just like doing things to lose weight doesn't need to be a thing if you're eating the way that your body is intended to be, right?
That's our general statement we could say about any supplement.
Yeah.
And this is something I always say about every supplement too. And this is going where you were going to go with it. But, any supplement out there, for the most part, especially when it's a nutrient that either your body produces or you can get from food.
Yep.
Typically, the benefit in supplementing with it is when you are deficient in it.
Say that word again.
You get the benefit of the supplement if you are deficient in that nutrient.
You want to see one of my notes?
So if you are not deficient and you supplement with it, the question of whether it's actually going to benefit you for most nutrients that you are supplementing that are natural in the body or that you consume from food, especially vitamins and minerals, right? If you didn't already have a deficiency, then supplementing is not going to help.
Have I ever told you how much I love you
Yes.
and how much I appreciate how aligned we are
Yes.
on our interpretation
You
and
tell me all the
application
time.
of things? So she hasn't looked at all the notes that
I
I
have
sent her.
not looked at his. He sent
The
me a bunch of
last
notes.
thing that I have in my notes, most claims are a classic case of the more is better mentality. Outside of a metabolic disorder or severe malnutrition, no one is running around with a creatine deficiency.
Now, let's qualify that and go where I wanted to go with it.
Okay.
Unless you are vegan.
I wasn't planning on going there, but let's explain why.
Let's talk about what creatine is.
Let's talk about why. So creatine is a byproduct of let's say amino metabolism. It's amino acid metabolism. It's part of the energy, if you've heard of the phosphocreatine system, right, of energy production, how our body moves, muscle contraction. It's a component of how our body functions that way. When we eat mostly meat, that rhymed, creatine naturally occurs in muscle tissue, which is what usually we eat, at around 3 to 5 grams per kilogram. So if you're eating roughly a pound of meat a day, which is probably average, I think, for most people, a little bit more for me, you're getting probably, 1.5 to 2.5 grams from your food. Okay, now, you're also getting protein with that food. Okay, in your body takes amino acids and it makes internally between 1 and 3 grams of creatine on its own from the protein that you eat. So on an average day, if you're eating about a pound of meat per day, you're getting probably somewhere between 1.5 to 3.5 grams of protein per day for the average person.
To put this in context of the supplement, typically a supplemental dose would be 3 to 5 grams.
Right.
And for smaller people and most women, they generally recommend the 3 grams is fine for the muscle benefits. Mm-hmm. Now, for the new brain benefits that they're talking about, they're recommending a lot more
10 to 20, yeah.
But all that to say, for me, a pound of meat, that's the high end of what I would eat. And I am ketovore, like mostly carnivore. All of my meals are nothing but meat.
With all your meals. And
yes.
Even when they're not a meal.
Anyways, for men, male carnivores, you're eating like 1.5 pounds to 2 pounds a day, right?
At least a pound and a half. I've been doing a lot more eggs lately, so the meat has gone down. Yeah, I mean, if you count, I don't know how much is in eggs. I was looking at animal meat, but
yeah.
I wonder how much creatine's in eggs.
It's gotta be.
Let's find out.
It's not as much as
it won't be as much as
the muscle. Yeah. As the muscle meat, but that's a good.
How much creatine is in an egg?
That's a good point because just meat alone, yeah, maybe
not much.
Okay.
Not much.
Yeah, so just meat alone.
0.1 gram per egg.
Unless you're eating a significant,
now,
if you're Sean Baker.
But I'm doing 10 to 14 eggs a day.
Yeah, you're doing
so if there's 0.1 gram, then I'm getting around probably 1 gram of creatine from my eggs per day.
Yeah, and then you have a pound of meat?
At least.
So that would be a little bit low though, if you think about it.
But my protein's also higher. Because I'm doing like 180 right now, protein.
Right.
Which is higher than most. It's higher than 0.8.
But that's what I mean, right? We are carnivore, eating mostly meat and eggs.
Yeah.
And we strength train and we have muscle and, we eat a lot of protein, all of those things, right? So the average person,
potentially,
even if they're not vegetarian or vegan, are unlikely getting what would be most optimal. I don't know that they are officially deficient, but they're certainly not getting 3 to 5 grams of creatine.
But here's the thing. they're not getting what's most optimal, but they're also not requiring that their body uses it and needs it as much.
Ooh, touche. Talk about that.
Right? So if you're, just
That's a good
like
one.
we talk about, I'm bigger than she is, so I probably need more creatine. I have more muscle than she has, so I probably need more creatine. We're both equally active, so the activity level that we have isn't really different between us. But for someone who's not active,
yeah.
who doesn't have that requirement for energy and building muscle and repair and brain function.
And that's one of the things you hear about bodybuilders. If you're not a bodybuilder, you don't need that much protein.
Exactly.
It's like because you're not breaking down your muscles on a regular basis.
Right. So the creatine that the average person's getting is probably sufficient for the function that they are asking their body to perform.
Now, going
Now,
back to
if they
something,
want to change and get better and say, hey, I need to improve my health, then we're looking at not only is it just the activity, and maybe you need some supplementation at the beginning.
I love you too.
But if you start eating the way that you want to eat, you need to eat to support the new activity and the new lifestyle you're trying to build, then everything will still come together without the need for supplementation.
And that's exactly where I was going to go with it too, is like if you're then saying, oh, I don't need creatine because I don't challenge my muscles and I don't eat a lot of protein. Those are all the things that are going to lead to that metabolic decline we talked about. So yeah, dial in the basics.
And that's,
we always say, basics first. Supplements are supplementary.
Added on top of. And that's an example of where this whole, there's not a lot of really solid causal evidence that creatine's the problem. Right? Because
is it a problem in the first place?
Is it a problem in the first place? Or is it
Yes.
the fact that the person's not doing any physical activity? Is it the fact that the person sleeps like crap? Is the fact, like, there's so many other facts that they're drinking alcohol 5 days a week? Like, what are all the other things that are going on?
Which reminds me, we should also mention the fact that supplements are not, when you're putting supplements in, when you're not getting adequate sleep, when you're stressed to the max. And how many people do this? Oh, let's go get a cortisol supplement. Let's go get a ashwagandha. Let's go get all of these.
You cannot out supplement a
bad
crappy
lifestyle.
lifestyle. Okay? You cannot. You cannot slam beers and alcohol every weekend and then think that your H2 tab that you take 5 times a day for your hydrogen water because it's great for recovery and antioxidants, don't get me fucking started, is going to solve all of the problems and the issues from you drinking every weekend.
Yeah.
It's not going to work, right?
So if you're like, oh, I need creatine because my workouts suck, but you have so much going on in your life that you never sit down and then you don't sleep more than 2 hours a night. Don't jump to creatine. You need to fix the lifestyle stuff that's in the way.
Going back to the deficiency thing, how many of you are trying to supplement based on a deficiency you don't even know you have?
Because you're being marketed to and told you have a deficiency.
Because the marketing says everybody's deficient in this. The studies show.
Or they're saying, do you feel tired all the time?
Right. The hypochondriac
yes,
marketing.
you know what? Everybody feels freaking tired all the time. And you're like, oh my God, they know me. I must need taurine. I must need B1. Oh, I must be deficient in XYZ.
I need to refresh my adrenals. Like, guys,
you
just need to sleep.
It's very possible you're deficient in those things, but
it's less likely that you are.
No. I'm going somewhere else this time.
Oh, no. Uh-oh.
There's a reason you are.
Oh, yes.
There is a reason you are.
Yeah.
Guess what? You need B vitamins to be able to digest well. If you have poor gut health, could it be because you're deficient in B vitamins? It's possible. But it's also possible you're doing things in your lifestyle that are causing the gut dysfunction and you're not absorbing the B vitamins, and that is why you're deficient in them.
Yeah. Could be something you're eating, something you're doing, something you're not doing.
Is taking the supplement going to solve the problem, or do we need to solve something that heals you so that you no longer have the deficiency?
And this is one of the things about the reason to take supplements. And I'm thinking about this on the fly. So you tell me, you're my fact checker. Does this make sense? Does this make sense checker? The main reasons to take a supplement are to, if you're doing it, and I'm going to say this word somewhat loosely, properly, is to help fix another problem that you're having. Like if you're having an issue with something, maybe it's not something you can control, but there's something going on. Maybe it's a metabolic thing, a genetic thing, or who knows what, but there's something that taking this, like for instance, you've had so much damage to your gut that you have to take digestive enzymes to help you digest your food, no matter what you do.
And to get the nutrients out of the food. You have an actual
mechanical issue in your body that you have to take supplements. So that's one reason. There's something's actually broken that you have to supplement because your body doesn't work the way it's supposed to.
And gut is such a perfect example because it's possible you might need to take some exogenous nutrients like B vitamins, all the things that you need to properly digest to help you in the interim until you can get that
that was
mechanical thing solved.
That was the second thing. And that was the other thing. If you're doing it properly, if you have a deficiency that you've identified to a problem, you've connected that, then you take the supplements while you are working on what caused the deficiency. Okay? A lot of you are taking supplements the same way you take medication from your doctor, with the assumption that you will have to take this for the rest of your life because you're not thinking about, well, why do I have this deficiency or this dysfunction in the first place?
Yes.
So just keep that in mind. Supplements are designed, the whole concept of supplements means added on to a good foundation of health. So if you need a supplement, it's because you don't have a good foundation of health and you need to figure out what needs to get fixed inside that so you don't have to worry about taking this supplement.
And I want to do a little aside here because I recommend if you do suspect, based on whatever you saw online, whatever research you did, that you do have a deficiency, I highly recommend working with a professional. This doesn't necessarily mean you're a traditional medicine doctor, unless if you can get nutrient testing covered, that would be amazing because unfortunately, micronutrient testing is some of the most expensive testing out there. I wonder why. But see, this is why it's helpful to work with a integrative or functional physician who is versed, or naturopath who's versed in the nutrient deficiencies that can recommend specific testing based on what they see in your clinical profile that makes sense, that could be a deficiency, actually find out if it is, and something you should push them on because they can become supplement pushers just like your medical doctor is a pharmaceutical pusher. And there's a lot of them out there that just give you the supplement protocol like any other medication without a path to healing and a path to getting off the supplement. So I would push any functional doctor that you're talking with in your first consultation with them, asking them about how do they work through this process. Do they just give you a supplement protocol, or is there a protocol to come off of those supplements as you heal the problem?
Can I use myself as an example?
Yeah.
So now we're talking more about supplements in general and the idea of how we address and approach the concept of using supplements. I started an experiment yesterday where I am cutting out, cutting out. I mean, there's still a little bit in the coffee protein, but I'm cutting back on cutting out coffee.
Sad day.
One of the things I'm looking at is to see if it's impacting mineral absorption, primarily magnesium. And because I supplement magnesium, there's magnesium in the electrolytes. I take magnesium before I go to bed, right? I drink about 20 ounces of coffee a day on average, okay? I'm supplementing magnesium Likely because of the coffee I'm drinking.
Ooh.
If I stop drinking the coffee, can I stop supplementing the magnesium? That is a lifestyle choice that has caused me to have to supplement. Some of y'all are doing that with other things and not even thinking about it.
Something to think about for sure.
Right?
Yeah.
So that's that's an example of the stuff that we look at in our daily lives. Like, what am I doing every day that may be causing this need to supplement something?
Good point.
Right. Okay. That's all of the creatine and most of the
then
supplement
I should
stuff.
mention my creatine.
Yeah, well, let's talk about what we've done with creatine.
Because you were just talking about experimenting.
Yeah.
So I ran out of creatine.
Before we do that,
Okay.
the key to this whole video, nobody could tell you what's going to work for you on creatine or not. The data, the science, the research is not conclusive in any direction on the benefits or how best to use it for an individual. Okay? So if you're interested, if you want to try it out and see what's going on, try it out and see what's going on.
And
it's safe. You can do whatever you want to do with it.
we should mention how, right? So we've talked about this on other episodes, I'm sure, but how to do a proper N=1.
Ooh. We want to tell our stories and then we can go into how to do that?
Sure.
Because we can use it ourselves as an example
Yeah.
of that, like what this looks like. We're going to give you our examples of what we've done
What we're doing.
for testing creatine or going to do.
And then the principles of N=1
Yep.
and how to conduct a proper self-experiment.
Yep.
Okay. And data is the key. There's the little spoiler alert. Okay, so I was running low on my creatine a while back. Must have been January now. I want to say it was around when we went to Boca.
Okay. I miss Boca.
It was
I want to go back to Boca.
Florida. We love it.
If anybody has any program management jobs in Florida,
Get
please
us
let
to
me
Florida.
know. Because we want to move to Florida.
His job is the only reason we're here right now.
Yeah.
Although we love where we live too. Or at least I'll speak for myself. I just put it in my gratitude this morning. My
Did you?
prayer gratitude. Yes, I love our little city. Okay, so I was running low and I was thinking, okay, do I want to keep paying for this?
Right?
Ultimately, I was like, I'm not a hyper responder to anything for the most part. The only thing that ever made a huge difference is the sleep aid that I've been taking. And it's like,
Kill switch has
I
been
notice
crushing
it
it for you.
like immediately.
But even that's an example. Let's
Anyway,
go to
yeah. So I was like, you know what? So many of my ladies, not so many, every once in a while, I have someone who probably it's psychosomatic because you're hearing this. This is another thing we didn't talk about with creatine. Oh my gosh, I gained weight when I started taking creatine. I'm holding water, and there's all this concept about being bloated, getting bloated from creatine. That is not
There
substantiated.
used to even be ones that when people took creatine and said their nipples hurt. You never heard that one?
Never heard that one, but I've heard.
When I first wanted to take it years ago, I was thinking about taking it. That's one of the things that kept me from taking it for the
Wow.
longest time.
So one of the things, and you hear this is rampant in the fitness space, that, causes water retention. The concept is that it's pulling the water into the muscle. So if anything, you should look more jacked, like bodybuilders stepping on stage, rather than
not soft.
having this water weight in your belly or, any of that. And so if you do notice weight gain from it on the scale, that's where it's coming from. Water into the muscle, like carbs do.
Oh no! What?
So anyways,
It's the only way to get a
I
pump.
hear that a lot. I was like, I've never noticed, although I've taken it for years. And every so often, I've not taken it for a short period of time if I'm going on vacation or something. But as he mentioned at the beginning, it takes time to build up in your system. It takes time to come back down. So it's going to take a good month of supplementing it for it to be fully saturated.
Yeah, and with you eating as much meat as you do, it's going to take even longer.
To come down. So it's very likely that I never really, of course I'm not going to experience anything. And I always tell my ladies, it's not something you're going to notice acutely. like another question I get is, when should I take it? Before my workout, after my workout, morning, night, blah, blah, blah. None of it matters because it's not an acute supplement. You don't take it like a pre-workout and now all of a sudden you're Superman in the gym. Like, you're not going to notice immediate brain benefits or immediate muscle benefits right after taking it. It takes that time to build up. So all that to say, I was like, you know what? I've never actually tested this where I've taken it out for months at a time and noticed if I saw a difference in my performance in the gym, muscle gains or muscle maintenance, brain effects, or any of that. So I just decided I'm not going to buy any more of it. I'm going to let it actually, take it out for a few months. And I probably, 1 or 2 months in now, so far I haven't noticed anything
drastic,
except all of a sudden I did start dropping on the scale.
The last 2 weeks you've been like, phew.
Well, even before 2 weeks, because it was the Arnold. When I went to the Arnold, it was the week that I went to the Arnold that all of a sudden I got a 2-pound drop on the scale after being at the same 2 pounds up and down for half a year, 6 months, 8 months. I mean, a long time at the same place, despite a lot of changes I was making with macros and cardio and all of that. Now, I qualify that with, I did add a lot more cardio, a lot more.
You've been more consistent
activity.
with it. Yeah.
So it's very likely that's entirely what it is.
And that goes into what we're talking about with our N+1.
Yes.
Or N=1.
Also, I've noticed things in the gym, some days feeling weaker, training feels harder, but
you've had some days where you've been like
crushing it too.
Yeah.
And that to say, my cycle, I have identified some really clear patterns that when I have those low energy in the gym days, it's always correlated with a particular time in my cycle, shifts in my hormones. So because I track everything and I have all of this data to look at, I cannot point to the creatine and say that's it. So I'm going to continue this experiment so that I have,
because you have
3 to
3
4
factors.
months. I want 3 to 4 months of data where I can now recognize if it is hormone cycles, if it's cardio changes, if it's macro changes, or if I can actually say I think that this is the creatine.
Yeah.
And this is something I see most people doing wrong. I started eating more protein and now all of a sudden I'm gaining weight. Or what have I seen? Things like,
we see, I mean, any
I'm
combination.
tired,
any combination.
just all kinds of, and I'm like, well, what else is going on? Because it's like 99%, 0.9% the protein's not the problem.
Yep. Like I have someone I'm working with right now who the things that are going on with the changes we're doing with them, none of it makes sense. And we're both looking at it like I feel like there's got to be some data somewhere that I'm not getting access to. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
Or it could just be the coffee, because this person in particular drinks more coffee than I do.
Oh, right.
And I've been trying to tell them you need to stop drinking so much coffee. But that's a whole other thing. But
Well, and that brings up the, a lot of people, when you start doing something for your health, for your fitness, that's challenging and new for you, your brain wants to go, that's the problem. You started working out and now your knees hurt and you should stop working out. That's what your brain is trying to do. Because this is new and risky and scary to your brain. But 99.9% of the time, when you're embarking on a health journey and you're doing something that's intended to be healthier for you,
that's not the problem. It's not going to feel healthy at first.
And that's not the problem. Yeah.
For me, my N=1 with creatine was really straightforward. I wanted to see if overdosing 10 grams a day, I think I did it for almost a full month, made any difference in anything. Does anything seem different if I take 10 grams a day for a month? No.
And you know what? I did that
I didn't
experiment
notice
before
any
as
different.
well.
And that was the only thing I
Yep.
changed. I didn't change what I was eating. It didn't change my workouts. It didn't change, like, all I did was say, okay, 10 grams a day, let's do it. I didn't notice a single improvement mentally, improvement energy in the gym, better sleep, nothing other than I just had to remember to take it every day. It was something adding to my list
An
of things to
extra
do.
thing,
An
yeah.
extra thing. So I just stopped.
Yeah.
I haven't supplemented creatine in years.
Years? Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because that was a few years ago that I did that.
I didn't realize
That was like
that.
shortly after we met.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, last year when all this was coming out about the brain benefits and menopause and all of that, I tried taking super doses, like 20 a day. And you know what happened? My creatinine went through the roof. My doctor freaked out. I had to go get a kidney ultrasound because
Oh,
she
that's
thought
right.
I
I remember
had
that. Yeah. Yeah.
severe problems. Of course, everything was fine. And I was like, you know what? I probably don't need that much creatine.
What's the point, right?
Yeah.
Here's another thing I want you to think about. And this is a concept that the more is better mentality doesn't understand. When your body is when your body is working, let me change that. When your body is working the way it wants to, when it is doing things efficiently, it doesn't need as much stuff to do it.
Actually,
Right?
yeah, you know what? I've been cutting back on a lot of my supplements lately.
When your body's working well, you don't need to put as much into it to keep it working well,
Yep.
right? It takes less. So just something to think about.
And it's all the
It's
basics.
less work.
All the basics are the things that are going to get it there.
Yeah.
Hydration, nutrition,
Sleep,
fitness.
exercise.
Yep.
Yeah. So
Dang, I think there was something.
we want
else
to talk
I
about
was
the
saying.
general points of how to do N
That,
equals 1.
that was
You
exactly
wanna
what
do
I was
that?
trying to remember.
You want to start that? I mean,
Yeah.
it's really,
It's as simple
it's two
as
things. One thing at a time, track everything.
boom. That's
That's how you do
That's
it. If you're not tracking, you're not doing N equals 1.
Yeah, exactly. If you're going off of how you feel, feelings aren't facts. And they can change and they can be fleeting, and then you can't really remember, and a lot of it then gets left to psychosomatic symptoms.
Yep.
Right? I think this because you probably want to believe that, whatever it is. So my recommendation is before you start the experiment, and this was something I just recommended to somebody in my group the other day about dairy.
Yeah.
Is to get really clear on what you're experiencing
Ooh, that
now.
would be 3. That would be 3. Why
What
are
is-
you doing it? What are you testing?
Right. What are you testing? What are you wanting to determine, is this going to make a difference with? Write that down first. You might get some other surprises along the way, but get clear on what do I think this might improve.
Right.
And you want it to be beyond body weight. Right? What else is this doing within my body? Is it just about, I'm not getting weight loss, I want to change this thing and see if that changes. And that's perfectly valid if you're stuck. I was stuck for all that time, right? But is there something else beyond the weight that you're trying to determine? And then look for things that it could be benefiting, and take notes. Mm-hmm. Write it down, whatever it is, even if it is subjective and you're trying to determine. Like when I noticed, I had some bad training days. Let me write that down. Okay, notice that this is luteal phase. This is now always happening right before my cycle starts. Okay, probably not the creatine in this situation.
Right. Here's a question. I was going to go over comments and questions, but this just popped in my head. This is brand fresh. The Holy Spirit is speaking right now.
Oh boy.
It sounds like anybody watching this that we're saying you shouldn't need supplements. You shouldn't use supplements. It's a waste of time. It's a waste of money. So then what about things like Keto Brains? Why do we tell people that Keto Brains is a great creamer? Because it's not just because of the creamer, right? The whole nootropic effect and whatever else that people really get some benefit out of that. Is it like, where's the it seems contradictory to say you're going to tell people, here's my code for kill switch, or here's my code for equip, or salty, or like we have these things that we promote that are supplements.
Yeah.
But then we're telling people they shouldn't need supplements.
Well, first of all,
How does that work?
I don't say you shouldn't use supplements. Number one, everything is context dependent.
Very much so.
But number two, and I've seen the argument, I've seen people get mad at my Facebook group before because I share my discount code to something. It's a freaking discount. Use it, or
just so you guys
use
know,
it or don't use it.
Just so you guys know, some of the stuff that we have affiliate links for, we give discounts, we get some little kickback. But a lot of them, we tell the company, give that to the discount. They'll say, hey, we can give you a 10 or 15% discount code. And we'll say, we don't, and give you 10% or whatever.
Yeah.
We said, just put that on the discount. Give our people a bigger discount. We don't need that,
yeah,
right?
some of it we don't get anything for.
So,
It's just a referral.
But anyway, that's a whole nother.
Yeah, I will say, for both of us, we don't promote any products that we don't use ourselves. We use them for various reasons. And when it comes to keto brains and protein powder, for example, I'll use those two as good examples of this because I don't think either one of us use them for the supplemental benefits of them. I mean, maybe you do with with keto brains a little bit.
I don't feel anything from it.
Okay,
I just love the way it makes my coffee.
That's
it's the best
exactly
non-dairy
what I was about to
creamer
say.
that I've ever.
Keto brains and Equip, for example, or any protein.
And I only use Equip in my coffee too. Like I use them as coffee components. That's
and
it.
this is where I'm going with this.
Yeah.
Keto brains and any protein powder we use them in place of something else that would have not been beneficial. So, for instance, coffee creamer.
Right.
Most of the coffee creamers out there are absolute garbage. You should not be putting in your body. Or if you're a heavy cream person, you're probably getting a lot more fat than what you really need in your coffee that you could be using for food. Yeah. Or you're putting butter in your coffee, and this would be a better option.
And or if you're trying not to do dairy, then
yes. And then on the protein powder side, same thing. He uses it in his coffee. I use it to replace desserts and snacks. So where I would be eating something either dangerous or detrimental to my health, or at best neutral, but really probably not neutral, not helpful for me in any way, shape, or form, I'm replacing something unhealthy with something that's a healthier alternative. And that's what I use it for.
And this is another way to look at supplements, because I think we look at supplements as only being a biological health thing. They can also be a lifestyle add-on thing.
Or replacement.
Or replacement. So
this is instead not even an add-on.
And this is an example, right? Instead of giving your kids Kool-Aid, mix in some salty. Yep. Right? Or something like that.
The flavored electrolytes are another perfect example of that. Especially if you're a person who doesn't drink enough water and you love sodas or you love juices.
Right.
And you can replace that with healthy water, which also, in the case of electrolytes, I would argue more for the necessity of the supplement, particularly in low-carb, ketogenic, or carnivore diets, because you are literally not getting those minerals that you would be getting if you were eating. Salt is a good example of this. If you're eating a processed food diet, you're probably getting a ton of sodium.
Yeah.
It's not even good sodium because it's not mineral-based. It's the devoid of the natural minerals.
Well, it's not coming with any of the other minerals.
Yes.
And it's also with anywho.
Yes. So in that case, that's a replacement, another healthy replacement.
Yeah.
And likely minerals or supplements that you are actually getting deficient in if you're not supplementing.
And here's another great example. I'm cutting out coffee. So I won't be able to have coffee to put keto brains and protein powder in anymore.
So you probably won't even be
So I'm just
it.
going to make hot protein powder and keto brains.
Oh, right. That's what you've been doing the last couple of days.
Right. So just the same thing, but without the coffee. And it's not quite the same. It doesn't hit the same way, to be honest, but it's a good replacement, and it's something I'll just have to get used to. But again, I'm not doing it to replace food, not doing it to replace the nutrition that I need. It's on top of.
Yes. And that's another good point. We don't recommend meal replacements, like using protein powder instead of eating real food to get your protein. Yes. This is something I always push for my ladies. I want you to try to hit your protein goal with real food. I don't mind if you go over your protein with a shake, if you want to have that instead of dessert or instead of whatever junk snack, or in the case of occasionally, if you don't get the shake, you're not going to eat. And now you're going to be missing the mark significantly because you're on the road or you have a crazy schedule.
The trap with that is we see people who will tend to somewhat frequently only have a shake option in their schedule
instead of a meal.
And it's like, well, for whatever reason, it's like they're always in a situation where the only thing they could have is a shake.
Yeah.
And that's just a sign to us that, hey, maybe there's...
Or if you're like one of these women in their 50s and 60s who are like, I just don't care for meat so much, so I'd rather have a shake. You're missing out on the full complement of nutrition and nutrients that you would get from whole food, as well as so many other things I can say about the process of digestion and what your body, a shake, even if it's intended to be a meal replacement and they put in all these vitamins and minerals, it's not the same as getting it from whole food sources. So supplement for a reason, it's supplemental.
Yep. So hopefully that was helpful, guys. Let me look at questions and comments real quick.
I should also mention, it's great as a bridge. If you have been eating 50 grams of protein a day and now you're trying to get up to 100, your stomach is going to have a hard time. Your digestive system is going to have a hard time doubling your protein intake overnight. So if you need those shakes in the meantime as a bridge to get there, but it's just like what we mentioned before, let that be a bridge while you work on changing the lifestyle, while you work on slowly increasing how much food you're eating in a day.
Yep. Okay, so wow, that's good to know. So just the 5 grams consistent is the most important.
That's about the loading phase.
If you're going to, well, that's after. So if you decide you want to supplement, 3 to 5 grams is the right to loading. If you're getting that consistently over time, that's the dosage that's recommended. Yes, if you decide that's what you want to do. Consistency, particularly with the way that this is supposed to work when it comes to creatine, the idea is you want to keep your muscles saturated as much as possible. So the dosage consistently applied is going to help with that. Now, remember, that's the same idea behind muscle glycogen. And we know that our body is really good at replenishing muscle glycogen without eating carbs to keep that happen.
Kind of makes you
wonder. So does the logic really hold is the question. Let's see. I was wanting to max brain benefits before, let's say, a grad exam. What timetable would be best for keto brains before? So 2 things. Number 1, I have no idea. Number 2, remember that the actual full dosage of the theanine and the nootropic stuff
the nootropic
is
Alpha
in
GPC.
3 scoops. So if you're doing it specifically for the brain benefits, you probably need more than 1 scoop. So something to play around with, something to test. And that's where I think potentially, for me, I don't see a benefit from keto brains because I only ever do 1.
And also, here's the thing,
because it's expensive
too.
and I'm not doing 3 scoops a day.
And this is another good, and equals 1.
Right.
Have you noticed in your use of it enhanced brain benefits right away after taking it? What have you noticed from already using it? Because that's what's going to tell you the answer to that, really, if you think about it.
Coach Bronson, bingo. Coach Nat made him curse.
I didn't make him do nothing. He chose that.
Jonathan said, I had a client with a naturopath that had them on a supplement protocol that spread across their 6-foot bed.
I've seen those.
Seen that happen.
Yep.
Juliana, coffee brings you joy. I understand the feeling. DF Larson, hi guys. I say the money we waste on supplements would probably be better spent on red meat and other forms of protein. Absolutely.
Agreed, yes.
That being said, do you think creatine is more of a mental supplement? The jury's still out.
Yeah.
The jury's out. Try it for yourself and see. Jonathan says creatine gives him excessive urination for a few days, a little bit of a weight bump, but no difference in visual appearance.
Only useful for subtle cognitive benefits or if training close to muscular failure.
Okay. Have you ever heard of Cardio Miracle?
No.
Never heard of it, Jonathan. John?
Maha Uncensored Movie.
When I did the watch contribution, I've never heard of that. Never heard of the Maha Uncensored. Never heard of Cardio Miracle. What about the boron zinc combo? Okay, so that is another one that I have recommended. Now, I was never able to identify what was causing the issue, but my SBHG was high, SHBG was high. I always say SBHG, don't I? I don't know why, I can never get it right. My SHBG was high a while ago. My testosterone was low, my free testosterone was low, and it was recommended to me to supplement boron. I supplemented boron for several months, almost a year, I think. Got it tested again, and everything was back right where it needed to be. Boron zinc. I haven't really consistently supplemented, but the last time I got my test again, it was fine. So I don't know what I had been doing in that period, but I did have something that was off, but that helped fix it. It hasn't happened since. So if it happens again, though, I will know, hey, boron zinc is something I'll try and see if that rights the ship. So,
interesting.
I never did figure out exactly why that was off. When taking creatine, do you recommend before or after? You answered that question.
Before or after training, that's the question we get all the time. Doesn't matter.
Iced coffee equip. Yep, that's what I have been going to.
Juliana says Keto Brains is 10 times better than nut pods. I'm with Coach Bronson on that. I beg to differ. No, I don't, actually.
What is the best form and brand of creatine? The brand, I don't even know if you have a particular brand, but creatine monohydrate is considered the best.
Where's that question?
The last one.
Oh, okay. So, all right. Creatine.
This is where you plug your Thrive Market. Or not Thrive, your other one.
No, but this is interesting because this has been coming up a lot in the group is, what's the best creatine?
Go ahead.
There is actually an answer to this. So the brand doesn't matter. Creatine monohydrate is what you want.
Yep.
Don't get caught up in the marketing schemes of the companies that do creatine HCl or something?
HCl, hydrolyzed this, all the different.
It's easier on the gut. Like, there's nothing showing that creatine is hard on the gut and that it doesn't get digested. These are the same myths as the whole water weight, bloat, all of that, right? And they're capitalizing on that because they know you're bloated and now you're going to be like, oh my God, I need a special creatine that costs 5 times as much. Creatine monohydrate is the base form. Look for anything that just has creatine monohydrate, no added other things, and look for the most affordable version of it.
Right.
What I will add to that, if you care about the most stringent purity standards in manufacturing. Look for any brand, once again, because this company is the manufacturer that supplies companies. You're not going to be able to buy it directly from them, but it's Creapure is the trademark name. And if you look on any brand, they should have a Creapure logo seal on it, telling you it's manufactured. It's this special manufacturing out of Germany, and they do all this stringent testing. Everything else is made in China. If that's an issue for you, then go for Creapure. It's going to be more expensive, but there are tons and tons of brands out there that get it manufactured from Creapure. So that's what you can look for. I personally go with any trusted, reputable brand, and I get those through my supplement dispensary that he was just mentioning, Fullscript. If you are a member client of mine, then you can set up an account with Fullscript, and I can make recommendations directly to you, or you can just search the database for brands. Most of the brands in Fullscript, I mean, all of them are vetted, all of them are tested, so I trust pretty much everything I find on there. But still, always read labels and read ingredients and make sure you're just getting creatine.
Right. And I will say, because we've talked about it before.
Oh, that's right. I forgot to mention
Keto Brains, the company, also has creatine.
Creatine, and they have little individual packets.
5 gram packets. 5 gram. 5 grand packets. 5 gram packets.
So those are great, especially if you want to keep up with your creatine when traveling.
All right. Let's see.
Do you recommend micronized creatine for mixability, or is it not a thing? That's exactly what we were just talking about.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. It mixes
What do you
just
want to?
fine.
Yeah, it mixes just fine. I've never had a problem with it mixing.
When I was taking it, I just took it. I just put it in my first bottle of water for the day. You don't even notice it's in there.
Okay. What do you recommend mixing it into? Whatever you want.
Oh, wait, hold on. No, she
That's
says
what
I was doing it in hot coffee, then I learned this isn't
That
ideal.
is true. That
So
is
yeah, if you're talking about, for most supplements, I do not recommend
Hot coffee.
hot coffee or hot liquids in general. The hot liquid can degrade the breakdown, or what is the term I'm looking for? It's like if you leave it in there for a week.
Denature it.
Yes, so you're going to get less of the properties.
I think that's the word you're looking for. Denature.
Is it? It's like it's like the benefits wear off
I
kind of
think,
vibe.
I think denatured is the word we're looking for.
Yeah. Yeah. So,
Or degrading it. Julian
yeah,
says degrading it.
degradation. Yeah. So hot liquids, and people have also asked me like, oh, what if I put it in my water and I'm drinking that all day? It's not going to be an issue if it's within 24 hours. I mean, but if it's sitting in your fridge for a week, then yeah, you want something fresher than that.
All right, let's see. Anybody new? Let's see. DF Larson?
Yeah.
Okay. DF Larson, come on down.
You win. The price is right.
There you go. You win. The Keto Brains is right. Because of your question about creatine and mental supplements, you are the winner for today. So if you contact myself or Coach Nat on our Instagrams or emails or however you can reach us, Coach.Bronson at Instagram.
At the Keto Bikini Pro
On Instagram. And then we will need your mailing address so that we can send it to Keto Brains and they can send you a bag to try for yourself. Thanks for joining us, guys. Hope that was what you all were looking for when you asked us to talk about creatine. And we will come back next week with something. We thought of something this morning.
We have like 3 topics, so I don't know. This one's going to be a grab bag. It could be. It could go any direction.
All of them are mindset, though.
Are they?
I think so. Do you guys want mindset next week, or do you want more practical discussions about nutrition or fitness? Let us know. See ya.